Okay, so you know how when you're in your 20s and you get your first big girl job and they're like, listen, you should start contributing for retirement. And
Yeah.
you're like, retirement? I have so long into retirement. I don't need to do anything about that. Okay, it's the same freaking thing with mobility and using your body so that you not be able to move in your
Yeah,
40s.
right. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. That's a very good way to put it.
Welcome to Brain Fog Banter, where two women in the messy middle of perimenopause try to make sense of what's happening as it's happening.
We're not doctors. We're just curious, unfiltered, and figuring it out right alongside you.
Every other episode, we bring in experts to help explain the stuff our bodies never warned us about.
And the rest of the time, we're swapping stories with each other and asking way too many personal questions. So let's stumble through it together. This is Brain Fog Banter.
And in case you're keeping score, I'm pretty bad at taking everyone's advice about doing things proactively so that you can help your future self. My future self is always sticking her middle finger up at my past self because past self did nothing.
I'm not good at doing the hard things. I can take a vitamin. That's totally fine. You want me to work out 3 times a week? I don't want to. Why, though? I have time.
That's it. I'm like, oh, I'm so busy. But I sat here and watched 3 episodes of a reality TV show.
I can get a walk in. I love that. I love walking.
But okay, actually, I mean, that's movement. That's good. Walking
Yeah.
is a excellent place to start. And even if you never progress from there, at least you're moving your body.
Yeah, true.
So it does matter. Mobility matters, but I never really felt overly motivated every moment of my life because if I felt good about who I was, like if my mental game was good, then I
Yeah.
wasn't as obsessed with what my body looked like. But listen, if you're listening to this and you are still feeling young and good, like you have time, it's not just about how you look. It really isn't. And I honestly didn't understand that.
Yeah. It's totally about doing things for your future self.
Yes. Yes.
Because when we're young, we think we're invincible, and we don't need that. We don't need to do that. Like, what do I need to do that for? I'm totally fine. And then you get older and you're like, oh, I totally need that in my life.
Because we never really see ourselves as old people. I remember when I thought 30 was old. I remember thinking when I hit 30, that's when I'm going to feel so old. And I look at 30-year-olds like children, like they're actual babies.
Yeah, I work with some that are 30. Actually work with somebody who's younger than 30. And they're like, the prime of their life. And I'm thinking, that was me at one point.
Why can't we combine what we learn in our 40s with the youth of our 20s and 30s? Why can't we just know that instead of having to learn every fucking lesson the hard way?
I know. It's terrible.
But it's pretty
So
much like par
bad.
for the course for me. Like, take a probiotic, drink water. Nah, I'm going to wait until my system starts shutting down. And that's what they're doing. I'm in physical therapy twice a week now. That has been it's been transformative, actually.
Really?
Yeah. So like I went into physical therapy today. I started my day with physical therapy and I walked in and she said, wow, you got dressed today and did your hair. And I'm like, man. And she mentioned it multiple times and I'm thinking, I must look brutal when I come in here for her to comment that because it wasn't like I was that cute. I just had jeans and a t-shirt on.
Oh my God.
I did put real shoes on though, and I wasn't wearing those hideous hospital shoes that I wore all over the Dominican Republic.
Oh my God, those freaking shoes. Those are the one that probably caused your hip to hurt. Those fuckers away from Timo. I hate Timo so much. I don't know why.
Ugly.
Oh, your shoes. You thought they were so comfortable.
They are comfortable. It's like walking on a little bouncy cloud.
All right, well, maybe it's not the shoes, although it might be the slides.
Might be. All my hip problems. So I am very out of a line. Every time she has to adjust, my right hip is rotated back and my left hip doesn't do what it's supposed to do. So she has to, I don't know if you've ever had an adjustment like this, but thank God she warned me. She goes down and she starts with my tailbone and my spine and until her literal thumbs are in between my butt cheeks. Swear to God.
No, I've never been I've never been fixed in that way.
Listen, my physical therapist and I we're
You
buddies
guys are
at this
close.
point. Yeah, we're closer than I've ever been with another soul other than my parents when I was a baby. And we're gonna leave it at that, actually.
We don't need to go into the logistics of your
Life could come up
former
another
life.
episode. This episode is a train wreck. It's a train wreck.
Nobody ever said we were.
Oh my god. Holy.
Okay, so she goes down and her fingers are like right at your tailbone in between your butt cheeks.
Yeah, and then she's like shoving things in places, and sometimes it's like that's relieving, and other times I cry out in pain. Really, if you were to walk in at any point during my physical therapy sessions, you'd be like, "What is she? Is she stable? Does she have someone driving her home?" So I don't know. And then this morning, because I was the only one there, she was like, "What do you want to listen to?" I said, I'm thinking 90s hip hop.
No, how old is she? Is she way younger?
No, she graduated with me. I'm not with me, but my year.
Yes, okay.
I adore her. She's a great fit for me because she
Okay.
pushes me just enough. She listens
Yeah.
to me when she can tell I'm being like a whiny brat.
She knows when you've had too much.
But I will say, I am I was very sore at first. And the movements that I'm doing, Jen, they're not that complex. I'm
Right,
doing things like squeezing my quads and
right.
gliding my foot out literally 5 or 6 inches. They're not overly complex, but I'm working it. And every week I'm getting a little bit stronger. And it occurred to me, I made this up, okay? Like not 20,000 people haven't told me this over the course of my life. But this is a little tidbit here. Movements starting small is exactly what you should be doing and then building up from there. I have always been, you know what? I'm going to go from doing nothing but sitting on my couch to running a half marathon.
Right, yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
No, I think it's more stressful on your body. I decided I was going to add some more fiber into my diet. I decided I'll just get a fiber supplement. Well, I also know myself, and so if I take a fiber supplement, I'm going to have freaking gas for days. Like it's going to be rumbling in my stomach. So I asked Chat GPT, our good friend,
Mm-hmm. Love
and
her.
she said just do a teaspoon at first, and then you could add another teaspoon. And I was like, that's so simple. How am I that dumb that I wasn't like, oh, let me just add a little bit at a time? She's like, slowly add it in. I'm like, okay.
You mean like as you're drinking it? So instead of mixing the whole amount in at this, you just put a little bit in, drink some, and then do a little more?
So you just do like you start off with just a teaspoon for like 3 or 4 days and see how that
Oh.
does. And then you could add 2 teaspoons and see how that does. And then work it up eventually to the full amount.
Now, I've always thought of fiber
Really?
under a weight loss lens. So, what is it actually for?
Well,
This is that.
I think it helps your gut. It helps keep you full longer. So that's a plus, which is probably the more weight loss side. But then it just keeps everything in your gut moving and hydrated and helps keep it hydrated and stuff, which is also why you should drink a lot of water because that keeps your intestines hydrated and moving. But sometimes you need a little more fiber to help move things along too.
Are you doing like Metamucil, like that kind of fiber?
I looked up Metamucil. I just went to Walmart and I was looking at the options. And honestly, I don't want one that tastes orange. Can I just have plain, please? And I don't want to buy a giant container. I just want to try it out. And they didn't really have an option. But when I looked up what to get, it said to get like it's a specific something husk fiber. Let me see what Chat GPT said.
I know apples have fiber in them, and I've been eating a lot of apples for snacks, like apples and peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the only thing that I am deliberately doing for fiber. I am not doing anything else.
Psyllium husk.
So, okay. So you're doing fiber. Good. Good. How do you feel? Did you just start?
I haven't started it yet because when I went to Walmart, they have Metamucil, but it's like orange, like the orange flavor. And I'm like,
It's disgusting.
I don't want that. I just want something I can throw into my like coffee or something in the morning.
Yeah. Well, But see, and the way that you're doing it, where you're introducing it slowly so that your body gets used to it. I mean, that's what we're talking about here with movement. If you're like me, and this is not coming from a place of guilt or shame at
Mhm.
all, but if you're like me who is not really taking that whole move your body thing seriously, I'm telling you to start small. I literally started with just squeezing my thigh muscles together
Right.
to try and help my hip.
I started slowly adding in rolling my back every night.
Yeah.
So Jason and I will go for a walk. We'll come home and I'll do the rolling in the back. I'll go in and I'll lay on the long roller thing, but I'll lay on it like long ways as to release all of the tension that you've been holding. Because we hunch and we
Mhm.
look at our phone. I particularly hunch over to look at patients in their mouth all day. When you lay, you kind of like release your back so that it like stretches back out. That's what my sister-in-law said, who's a massage therapist, and I trust what she says. And then we also have this little rolly thing that I put at the bottom, the middle, and the top of my back. And you just like let everything go. You put it on your back and you just lay there and let everything go on the sides and rest your head back. And it feels so good.
It's kind of like a supported yoga pose, right? Like
Yeah.
you're using tools to support your body while you're doing these things. Even that, even just laying on something
Mhm.
in the correct position, supported, is moving forward. It's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I almost feel like it pushes on the muscles, and if your muscles have been tense like this all day, when you're pushing on it this way, it almost like it releases them so that they're less tight.
That makes sense to me.
So then just roll it up the back, and then I do like a neck. Jason has like this neck roll thing that I've been using too, and I'll do my neck at the same time. Yeah, it feels so good once it's done. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't wait to get home from work and try it out.
Ooh, I
Yeah,
love that. Have you ever tried a chirp?
what's that?
So a chirp is it's a circle. They come in different sizes, I believe. We have a larger one and a smaller one, but you just kind of arch your back. You lay over it like a supported back bend,
That is
actually.
what we have,
Yeah.
but
And it
they
does the
have, like,
same what you're
bumps and
talking about.
stuff on them, right?
This one, yeah, well, it's textured, mostly I think so you don't fall and die. Because, like a 3-inch fall for me at this point would be detrimental. No. So, but it's doing something similar to what you're talking about, where it's kind of like supporting your body opening up
Mhm.
in the opposite way as what we normally spend our days doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't love his. They're very hard, like, and the textures are really rough feeling on my back. Like they hurt more than anything else. And I'm fine with it being a little sore. Like sometimes when I'm laying on the little ball that's pushing on my muscles next to my spine, it hurts for a second, but then it releases and it feels good. I don't know. That thing is like a little rough for me.
So you just mentioned it hurts for a minute, but then it releases and feel good.
Yeah.
That is something that we're doing in physical therapy. Like today, she had me do this thing where my hip was essentially hanging off the table,
Mhm.
which, if your hip is in like normal, whatever, that's not so bad. For me, it was excruciating and I wanted to stop. And she said, "Can you just give me 30 seconds? I just want to see if it will release." So it's a
Good.
trust the process. That
Yeah.
physical therapy, if you've never done it, is definitely a trust the
Yeah, for
process.
sure.
Have you ever done it?
No, but Ella had to do it for her plantar fasciitis, and it
Yes.
was definitely a trust the process because it was, I think it was a good 6 weeks of physical therapy for her foot.
I am learning that I can't be in control of this and I can't rush it. And I'm not good at oh, okay, well, we've identified something that's wrong and I need to fix it immediately or my life is over. It's not that dramatic. So physical therapy has been like a game changer. But thinking in terms of starting small,
Mhm.
starting yoga back up. I started the stretching in the morning and night. Even that is a step in the right direction.
For sure. Yeah. Any type of
Because
stretching I feel like is good stretching.
Well, yeah, because we lose our range of motion as we age, and obviously our strength, bone density is an issue, balance.
Yeah, for sure balance. Like that's why they say as you get older you should strength train because when you go to fall when you're older and you can't catch yourself, that's when you really hurt yourself. But if you can somehow fall that's so that way you're not going to hurt yourself or catch yourself or whatever, then you're way better off. So that's why they say strength training is also good.
100%. But, we say that all the time, like strength training. And to me, that is so intimidating because I've never done it.
Mhm.
So, like, what does strength training mean? Am I suddenly going to be one of those like doing deadlifts or whatever? Like, it doesn't have to even be that. It could be body weight. You can
Yeah.
start by
Start with your
just,
body weight. Yeah.
that's exactly right. So, I feel this has been kind of transformative for me. And it felt bad at first, but I'm learning so much about my body and where I need to strengthen
Yeah.
and that I can do it slowly. It doesn't have
Right.
to be all or nothing.
Right. No, it doesn't. And you don't have to do it all at one time either. Just slowly sprinkle things in as you can. I always feel like the longer I take to add things in, the easier it will be to add to my routine. If I just try and be like, okay, this is my strict diet and this is my strict workout routine, at some point I lose a little bit because I'm trying to do too much and it feels like too much on top of all of the other things that you're doing in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't always have time to, like, food prep and things like that, which you want to, but you don't always have time to, so it has to be some type of balance, I feel like.
Oh, 100%. And if you're looking at it like a all or nothing and you have to go, 100% full out from the start or even every time. That's
Yeah.
that's a trap I fall into too. Oh, I was able to do XYZ last time. I should be able to do XYZ plus this
Yeah,
time.
for
And it
sure.
doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't, unfortunately.
No. No, I know. But when the motivation is, at least for me, I tend to be a person who learns best through mistakes.
Mhm,
When the motivation is I want to be able to get on the floor and play with my future grandchildren
mhm.
and be safe, like keep my body safe.
Yeah,
When that's the motivation, you find the time because you're, at least for me, like I realize this is the
this is
life
it.
that I get. I'm 44 and a half.
Mhm.
I am having issues that I did not expect to be having at this age,
Right.
but it's not too late.
No.
So there can be progress made at any age. If you are
Absolutely.
70 and you're thinking it's too late for me, it isn't. It
No,
isn't too late.
not at all. All you have to do is get a walking treadmill and start walking on it if you don't wanna walk outside. If you can't walk outside, if it's too much of a risk to walk outside, whatever. And you could hold little hand weights at the same time. Do
That's
your
exactly right.
weights.
Or if you don't have the money to purchase hand weights, cans of soup to start or
Yep,
veggies or something.
definitely.
Yeah. And so I think that's been on my heart. This
Mhm.
whole mobility thing has been on my heart, but also this idea that, choosing your health it is a different kind of motivator than choosing your looks.
Yeah, for sure, I agree.
Cause I've always liked, I've always felt like, oh, I can be cute at any size, but it's not, I can be cute at any size. It's not
Of course.
about being cute. It's about
Mhm.
literally living my best life.
Yes, and being able to, like, do all the things that you have planned to do in the future. Because traveling, if that's a part of your plan, you wanna be able to walk the miles to do so, you know?
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like it would be fun to travel if you have to be, like, in a wheelchair per se.
Well, no, and it limits the kind of traveling you can do.
Yes, I agree.
Even something like a cruise ship would be challenging for somebody with a mobility issue.
Mhm.
And that's a
There's a lot of
relaxing,
stairs. Yeah.
a
I
lot
mean,
of
they have
stairs.
elevators, but you have to wait. I never when I'm on a cruise ship, I never wait for the elevators. I'm always walking the stairs
Me too.
because it's just dumb.
Oh my gosh. No, so those small things add up. Some of the physical therapy things that I've been doing, if you're like looking for a place to start,
Mhm.
it's just like walking in place, taking steps in place, walking up and down a step.
Mm.
Those types of things don't feel like much, but consistency is queen.
Yeah, oh my gosh, for sure. Even
So
on the
it's
days you don't wanna do it. It's the days you don't wanna do it that you make yourself do it, that's when it really matters.
I agree. And I never
Otherwise
really fully understood that.
Yeah, I know. No, now we do.
That's right. So this is my commitment, right? We talked about what we were doing for sleep, and
Hmm.
the things that I've been doing for sleep have helped. It's not 100%. I've had some sleepless nights because
I just don't
that's
think
real
that's
life.
avoidable. I don't think that you can, I don't know, maybe it is. There's not any woman that I've talked to that's in this stage of life that it was like, yeah, once I started doing this, I have great sleep. I just don't think that that's possible, but to do if you do the same routine, you can hope for that to happen.
So I'm going to commit to doing a few things over the next 2 weeks because this is now it's a top priority for me. I never really prioritized it in this way because it was always it would be nice to be fitter, or it would
Yeah,
be nice to, it's not it would be nice. It's
I have
essential.
to.
It's critical. I
Yeah.
have to. Yeah. So I'm doing physical therapy twice a week and I'm doing those exercises daily.
Hmm.
But I learned over the last 3 physical therapy sessions that I'm getting a lot stronger at the bike. So I'm not totally confident on like a road yet because my hip is not great,
Okay.
but I am committing to getting on the bike for 15 to 20 minutes every day for the next 2 weeks just to get
Nice.
my hips moving, my knees moving, literally just that.
Yeah. Good for you. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
excited.
gonna I'll join you on this, but I would like to do so I do the rolling of my back, but when I do that, I'm also gonna add in like, I don't know, 4 or 5 stretches that I do every time.
Yes, I love that. And speaking of online, there are tons of free resources on YouTube and influencers to follow.
Okay. I might try. Might ask ChatGPT too to see what ChatGPT gives me compared to like what something else looks like.
Yeah, and ChatGPT, that's a free resource.
Yeah.
They do have paid, which of course
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with it and I pay for it every month, but
So do we.
it's a free resource that you can literally get information on anything. Now fact check it because I did run into a situation where it wasn't entirely accurate because it's
Oh, right.
pulling, but it's learning. So then I said, well, that wasn't quite right. Gave some clarification. So I told it. But Chat
Well,
GPT
that's
is an
good.
excellent resource too. If you're like, I am over for motivation, for routines, for anything, do not sleep on Chat GPT and do not sleep on moving your body. It's not too
Oh my
late.
God, no, it's not too late. Get up and get moving, even if it's
Yeah.
only walking, even if
We,
it's only stretching for now.
I mean, even if it's just getting into bed and doing happy baby,
Exactly.
that's a great, fun, relaxing. It massages your back, it
Yeah.
opens your hips.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Do it.
happy baby.
Mm-hmm. It's an easy one to do.
And your future self will thank you
Yeah,
instead of
for
be mad
sure.
and irritated with you.
Once you sprinkle a little bit in there,
Yeah.
because it's not really just about losing weight.
It's like my mom calls them fitness snacks, which she got from Chat GPT.
Yes, I love that. Fitness snacks. Sprinkle some fitness snacks in your day.
Right. You've got 90 seconds, do some squats. You've got another 2 or 3 minutes. Excellent. Like do some push-ups on a wall. Like you don't have to have 15 uninterrupted minutes. There are days then when you don't have that kind of time.
Yeah, I agree. Do
Mhm.
it. Or plan it
Yes.
out if you can for your week. Plan your week out. Figure out what day is going to be best to work for doing the workout or whatever.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Well, as always, man, this is a journey. Like it's a journey where you have to have a lot of grace for yourself and you have to be willing to be kind of humble and learn from people
Mhm.
who have already lived through it.
Yeah.
And I mean that's why I'm just so incredibly grateful for this community, honestly.
Same.
Yeah. So do something for yourself today that your future self will say, "Thanks, queen."
Yes, I agree. Go do that.
Thanks for hanging out with us in the fog today.
If you had a laugh, learned something new, or just felt a little more seen,
Go ahead and follow the show. You can also leave us a review, share this episode with a friend, or slide into our DMs with your own midlife mayhem.
We're here for it. All of it.
Catch you next time on Brain Fog Banter.